Sri Lanka is one of the most beautiful places in the entire planet, and trust me, in spite of a lot of struggles, Sri Lanka's tourism is on high point right now. But at the same time, this particular country has a lot of economical crisis, and that is what we're going to talk about in this video. My experience of going to Sri Lanka and what is the present economic crisis that's happening in Sri Lanka. So if you have been to Colombo, the first thing that you will notice are the big buildings. But if you notice closely at these buildings, the one just on the golf face is one of the most tallest buildings in Sri Lanka, and it is owned by an Indian owner. And there is a building just next to it, it's owned by a Chinese company. So if you notice something so clearly, there are a lot of foreign investments that's happening in Sri Lanka right now, and that is a reason why Sri Lanka is surviving, and of course tourism too. But on the other side, Sri Lanka should be compared with Zimbabwe, and we know what happened in Zimbabwe. Like, a lot of Chinese investments happen over there, but at one point in time the country collapsed, the economical crisis happened, and small things become so expensive over there. And I feel if Sri Lanka is going to that particular path right now, it's a downhill for them. I did talk to a few locals regarding the economic crisis. I wanted to talk about this economic crisis to localites over there, and surprisingly, lot of prices have gone up. A normal cigarette, which cost about 50 Sri Lankan rupees back then, and I'm not talking about 20 years back, just 5 years back, right now cost you about 150 rupees. And if this is the case of cigarettes, imagine milk. And honestly, if there's one thing that you have to notice in a lot of places in Sri Lanka, whether you order tea or coffee, most of the times you'll get a black coffee or black tea, or with a milkmaid added to it. Yes, the milk is available but not in plenty, so they have to depend on milk powders, milkmaid, and a lot of other sources. So the natural milk they get from Sri Lanka is very rare over there. And apart from that, lot of things are expensive. Like, even if you go to Burger King, just order normal Whopper, the price is very expensive when compared to countries like India. End of the day, I did talk to a localite over there. I met him in Sigiriya, and he explained beautifully about the entire economic crisis. I hear, like, whenever we have a tea, they don't add milk, they add milkmaid. Why is that? The milk is very scarce in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the nowadays the price of very high milk powder.
Milk powder prices?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why.
So you were talking about the petrol prices, like from 150 rupees to 368.
368.
And people lost jobs, but the economic crisis went up.
Yeah.
So what about chicken? Like 1 kg of chicken, how much was it?
It's around 1,200 rupees.
Back then?
It's 500, 600, more than 3 times.
Everything is...
Everything.
Okay.
Bus ticket also, train ticket, bus ticket, everything goes up.
And they also do taxes. Taxes.
Yeah, taxes.
Like general taxes for all the goods.
Yeah.
Oh, very hard to survive.
Government earn the money from the taxes.
And how is it?
Taxes.
Oh, how is the government working right now? Tourism?
Yeah, tourism and the foreign investments and the foreign workers, foreign employment.
And that is where the Chinese come.
Yeah.
Okay, they're building a lot of projects in Colombo.
Yeah. The highway and the port city, everything China invest to Sri Lanka.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, what do you see Sri Lanka in the next 20 years?
If we are change this system, we can have a better future. Otherwise, no future Sri Lanka. It's like can't say better will happen.
But now people say like Sri Lanka is going up.
Maybe.
So end of the day, right now Sri Lanka is fully dependent on foreign investments and tourism. And honestly speaking, the Sri Lankan Airlines, the flagship carrier of Sri Lanka, is connecting to a lot of other parts of the world. And a lot of people are surprisingly coming to Sri Lanka, exploring places. And also, when compared to a lot of other places, Sri Lanka preserves its natural beauty just like that. The transportation facilities are really good over there, and a lot of homestays. A lot of people have, just because it's fully dependent on tourism right now, I see a lot of new homestays, and people have come to terms with a lot of things regarding tourism. Change the entire property to homestays, and more than that, they've started getting tuk-tuks. Tuk-tuk is one of the best way to travel in Sri Lanka, and as a tourist we can save so much of money into this. Sri Lanka also faced a huge issue, civil war, but at the same time right now all the places have been under control, and I don't see any violent activities happening in Sri Lanka. But Think about it. 20 years back, this entire country was fighting in a war. People were divided. There are different opinions. North versus South, Tamils versus Sinhala. There was a huge protest. People are dying. People are sacrificing their life. LTT happened. So there were a lot of political tensions back then, and that has impacted the country in a different level. Sri Lanka has beautiful places. In a city life, you can chill at Colombo. If you want something offbeat, you can go to Sigiriya, climb the rocks, have a beautiful view. If you want to be a certain divine trip, if you want to visit temples, there are a lot of temples. I went to Dambala Rock Cave Temple. There are a lot of temples in Kandy, and if you're a natural lover who wants to travel in between nature, there's a beautiful journey from Kandy to Ella, where you just see a lot of tree plantations, a lot of beautiful falls. The train journey by itself is beautiful. Of course, it's going to take 6 to 7 hours to reach a destination, but it's worth it. And if you want to chill at a hill station, like a proper visitor, you have a lot of pubs and cafes in Ella. Ella's most underrated place, according to me. There are a lot of homestays where you can just stay there with beautiful views. So Sri Lanka in general is an apt place for tourism, and honestly, the people in Sri Lanka are less judgmental to tourists. There are a lot of areas in northern region. Since I am a Tamil, I went to a lot of Tamil speaking areas like Jaffna. I see people are being judgmental, but on the other side, tourist friendly areas like Ella, Dambale and Habarana are all friendly towards tourists. So there are a lot of takeaways from Sri Lanka, but if you plan a trip properly, I feel within 10 days you can finish the entire Sri Lanka. Of course, you're going to miss a lot of places, but I feel it's worth it for 10 days. My journey to Sri Lanka made me realize just one thing. In spite of having a lot of issues, in spite of having so much poverty, in spite of having so much of economic crisis, people losing jobs, people are really friendly. And be it an Indian, South African, British or whoever you are, I'm pretty sure at least in one place of Sri Lanka you might find a true friend for you. And more than friends, I found a lot of family in Sri Lanka. Even the homestay, the family was so friendly to me. A lot of locals were really helpful, and that is how you have to improve a country. And trust me, this will not take place in India. Yes, there are a lot of tourist friendly places in India, but on a general note, when you compare the mindset of Sri Lankans and Indians, Sri Lankans are far ahead than who we are right now. And that is one thing I'll always remember about Sri Lanka. And honestly, I would love to travel to Sri Lanka again and again, not for tourist places, but to see a lot of friends over there. So this is just my experience of my journey to Sri Lanka, and maybe you might have a different perspective, maybe in a positive or negative way, but on a general level, going to Sri Lanka is one of the most worthful things that I did in this particular year. And I'm pretty sure Sri Lanka as a country, if they are united, they will get out of this economic crisis, and maybe in some fine day they would be example how to even come out of the economic crisis as a country together as one.